and I'm trying to figure this out. Sick of it. For practices, we've had really diligent meetings. I've delivered every type of message you could fathom. It's not just the team. This is all of us. This is me and the coaches included. It's not just the team. How do you start out a game like that? With a quarterback like this?
And so here we go again, back with another one. Welcome to the Dark Times channel. And before I go ahead and get started, make sure you guys go and hit that like button for me. And if you're not new to the channel and you enjoy the content so far on this channel, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me as well. And so let's go ahead and get into it. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. The former offensive coordinator for Colorado University, Sean Lewis, has been demoted and has been relieved of his duties as play caller, in layman's terms meaning that he's a lame duck. He's a coach without an assignment. His job is just to sit there and watch, as it should be. And a few weeks ago, I believe it was week 6, I said there was a possibility that Sean Lewis would be fired mid-season and that he should be fired because a lot of people, including myself, were speculating that he could be a possible plant, or at the very least, somebody who's a saboteur. Somebody who was out to make sure that the offense wasn't running and functioning the way that it needed to be, especially late in games. After that first game against TCU, we never saw the same offense. It was a completely different offense. Because if y'all remember, after Shedeur Sanders' performance after week 1, they were already talking about him as a possible Heisman candidate. And then shortly after that, we started getting a completely different offense. And I know a lot of people will point to the fact that teams are going to study and people are going to catch up to what they're trying to do. And yeah, that's true. But what most people were pointing to, include myself, was some of the late game decisions. Like trying to run the ball when you don't have any timeouts late in the game. Not just once, but several times. And so these are things that Deion Sanders saw, just like the rest of us. And so what did he do? He brought in a longtime NFL coach, Pat Shurmur, and a close friend of his. He brought him on as a consultant and a personal advisor. And so his job was to sit back and assess the situation. And after doing that, after assessing, what did he assess? He assessed that this coach needed to be relieved of his duties. He was that bad, mid-season, that he needed to be relieved of his duties. And so an offensive coordinator and a former head coach in Sean Lewis being stripped of his play calling duties is not something to be taken lightly. Because a move like that has got heavy consequences, especially for a coach in Sean Lewis that is going to be looking to become a head coach once again in the NCAA sometime in the future. And so that's not a move that they took lightly. And so what that tells you is that he was so bad at his job that he needed to be relieved of his duties mid-season. And this is somebody that knows how to coach. And this is somebody that reportedly knows how to coach offense. He's got a track record of having very good offenses. And so at the very least, he should be competent at what he's doing. But a move like this mid-season lets us know that he was incompetent at his job, or he wasn't willing to be competent at his job. And some might say, like I said earlier, he could have been doing it willfully. He could have been getting the bag from somewhere, allegedly. It could have been a lot of different things at play, but one thing's for sure, Pat Shurmur saw the same things that we did. He saw the same thing that Deion did, which is why Deion brought him in the first place, to validate what he was seeing. So Deion Sanders is smart enough to know that he's never been an offensive coordinator at the college level. So what did he do? Like I said, he brought in his longtime friend, former NFL coordinator, Pat Shurmur. He said, hey, take a look at this. Is it what I think it is? And then after a couple of weeks, Pat Shurmur said, you know what? It is. Let me go ahead and take over. Let me go ahead and get this offense back on track. Let me get this offense to where it should be. And so we're going to see. I think this is going to be a much more explosive offense. I think this offense is going to start to look like and resemble that offense that we saw in week 1. And I know a lot of y'all saw it like I saw it. A lot of y'all in the comments saw the same thing that I was seeing. Now, Colorado still has a lot of other problems to fix. Mainly being that offensive line and that defensive line for that matter. But it's a start. It's a start. It's a start in the right direction of getting this team back on track and getting to where it needs to be. Because there's a lot of things that an offensive coordinator can do to help out an offensive line that isn't that talented. Mainly getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands. Screen passes, trick plays, different things of that nature to keep the defense off balance. Because if the defense knows you're just going to drop back and throw it every time with no kind of trickery, then that's a wrap. They're just going to continue to feast on Shedeur Sanders every game. And then there was also rumors that Shedeur Sanders wasn't even talking to Sean Lewis. There were times when Shedeur Sanders would come off the field and not even sit on the sideline with Sean Lewis. No kind of communication. In 2 separate interviews, Shedeur Sanders said that he needed a little bit more communication. And that's directly on the offensive coordinator. And so, like I said, these are all things that Deion Sanders saw. These are all things that he was privy to, and even more that we don't even know about. And so it's about time. I guess better late than never. But that's going to be a wrap on this one. Just wanted to chime in real quick, but go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section and let me know how y'all feel about this one. And as usual, peace and chaos.